I'm Ricc Rollins, and this is Going Places. Don't you want to come along? Let's go. Who knew what was in store for this Tampa native as she stepped into the national spotlight as a cheerleader for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? But that was just the beginning. Vivian Fleming Alvarez is the personification of a hometown girl doing it well, doing it big, and doing it all. From television to the big screen and all screens in between, Vivian has appeared in blockbuster films like 12 Years a Slave, Bloodline, Unhinged, and numerous television shows including NCIS New Orleans, Being Mary Jane, Army Wives, and the Oprah Winfrey Network hits Queen Sugar and Greenleaf.
You are the most bottom shelf off-brand piece of rotten old ass I've ever laid hands on.
Recently, we all watched proudly as Vivian portrayed Elizabeth Lizzie Wright in the prolific ABC series Women of the Movement. While all noteworthy accomplishments, Vivian says that she's most proud to be a daughter and a mother. My conversation with Vivian Alvarez begins right after this.
Hi, I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. A place for you to come and share thoughts and spirit through a cup of coffee. Come and enjoy with us here at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
There are people in my life who make me proud. And then there are people who make me really proud. Vivian Alvarez makes me very, very proud. Every time I turn on the television and I see her beautiful face take on many characters, and with each one, you are bedazzled beyond the beauty at the mere fact that she can take any role and make it her own. I've known Vivian all of my life almost because we went to high school together. Go Lions!
Go Lions!
You know, but I watched her take a dream and turn it into a reality. Now you're talking about somebody going places? It's that chick right there. Welcome to Going Places, my friend. I'm so happy you're here.
Big. It's nice to see you. I'm so glad to be here.
I am too. I'm so glad we can work this out because this is busy. You know, last week when we were talking about Vicki Winans being the hardest working woman, this is the hardest working woman in show business. There's not a time that Vivian is not doing something. She's a mama. She's gonna be a grandma. She is, and she's most excited about that. She is an acting coach. She's an entrepreneur. She's everything she wants to be. Like I said, she's going places. And I'm glad you stopped long enough to talk to us today. I really am.
All righty, yes.
So let's start here. So King High School.
Yes.
Did you want to be an actress then?
No.
So when did this bug hit?
It hit late in life because, you know, I was on the dance squad in high school. And after that, I graduated early. I graduated at 17, like yourself.
Mhm.
And so just before we graduated, some girls came to the house and asked me to go with them to this orientation for a group of women called the Swashbucklers. I didn't know who they were.
Right.
And we went to Plant High School for the orientation. And while I'm sitting there thinking I'm supporting my friends, they called my name and they had turned in an application for me.
Oh,
And
wow.
yes, and I was like, "What picture did you use?" And they were like, "This picture," and it was my senior picture, and I didn't really like my senior picture, so I was like, "Ugh!" But it was four of us. We went and did the audition. You had to do a football test. We had to do quite a bit of things, and I ended up making the squad. And I cheered for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as an NFL cheerleader for 4 years. I had to be 18 by September 1st, and since I'm a Leo, that worked out just fine.
Yeah.
Then after that, I started working at the United States Postal Service and I worked there for 16 years as a supervisor in mail processing, and then left there after 16 years and decided to do real estate. And I did real estate for 5 years and was a multi-million-dollar producer in that field, loved it, and then the market crashed.
Right.
And by that time, my kids were of that age where I was going to blink and they were going to be in college. So I decided to stay at home and take care of them and be a homemaker for the last 3-4 years in school, because I have one son and then another one. They're back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my oldest towering over me and my.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, those boys are like gods. They're Nubian gods. Those boys. I sit and I look and I'm like, wow. I mean, they just command a room. Well, they get it from their mama.
Oh, and you know what's so good too is that they are just kind.
They are. You can
human
tell.
beings.
You can. Well, they can't be your children and not be kind. Because I mean, I think back to high school. You were always the sweetest person. It was never. She always spoke. She knew everybody. Oh, everybody knew her, and she was always kind when you didn't have to be. Because when you look like you look, you feel another kind of way. But you were the sweet. You were beautiful from the inside out.
Thank you.
And so thank you for that. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but it is. I mean, those boys are just. The pictures will be up. Y'all see what I'm talking about.
Thank y'all. Yes, my baby is the best thing I've done. I remember Christian, my oldest, firstborn. He was towering over me in the kitchen, and I thought to myself, "What am I not doing that I should be doing?" And I decided to ask myself that question, and I decided to ask myself that question every day for a month and just sit still and just kind of feel what would come up. And I had tried to do acting when I was 28, and then 30 days later, I found out I was pregnant with Christian. So I put that on hold. And I remember the actor teacher said, "You can have a baby and still be an actor." I was like, "No, you don't understand. I'm not being a mama." And I went in mommy mode, and it's okay. And that was my journey.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was 15, I was like, "Oh, I better find a hobby, because stalking this kid in college is not going to be a good look for me or him." So let me find a hobby real quick.
Don't you? We wanted. I purposely did not go because they probably would have had to. I would have had to find a place in Tallahassee to watch Jessica, because I was like,
it's crazy because when you're having kids and then that part of your life, you go through so many discoveries, reinventing and recreating yourself, and you don't realize how many times you do that.
yeah.
And so I know I'm getting ready to be an empty nester, so I need to rediscover, recreate, and reinvent myself. And then I found an acting class, and I started taking the acting class. I dove straight in. I went 4 days a week. We had, we could go to class 4 days a week.
Was this with Kathy?
It was with Kathy. Yes.
One of the best acting. Look, I never took the class. Kathy was my agent for a movie very early on. We did this movie called Long Gone. Jessica was an infant. They wanted a family, and we were a real family. We all got cast.
Wow.
And so I've loved Kathy from that moment on. And I tell everybody, you want to learn how to act? You want somebody who's going to tell you the truth? Kathy Laughlin is
Kathy
it.
Laughlin.
Yeah.
That was she came into my life, and I just dove right into it, and I went 4 days a week, and a year later I was able to secure an agent, and got an agent through a showcase. And then Next thing I knew, I was booked on my first show, which was Army Wives.
Mhm.
And I remember my mother-in-law asking me, "How did you get on that show from Florida? That's my favorite show." And I was like, "See, got to get in it and learn it, you know." And so that was it. All of a sudden now I'm hooked, and it just went on from there.
And we're going to talk about where it went when we come back right after this.
So that's what real style looks like. Ricardo's West Shore Classic.
Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. I am so honored to have with me one of my childhood friends. We look good because we just graduated the other day. No, but we are, I've watched Vivian's career, like she said, from swashbuckler to entertainer and actress extraordinaire. And we were talking before you left, we left about where her career picked up again because she was now getting ready to face empty nest. And she had to fill her life with something. And boy, has she. Welcome back, Vivian.
Thank you.
So
Well,
you make this decision that it's
yes.
time for me to do this, and you land Army Wives.
Yes.
What was that like the first time you saw yourself?
Well, it's so weird because so many things happened when I was trying to make this transition, and it was obstacles that I thought I would never happen to me. Just before I landed the agent, I went to a new hairstylist, right? And she was doing my hair, and whatever she did to my hair damaged it, and I was bald at the top of my head.
What?
So I had to cut all my hair off.
Oh,
And I
wow.
went, and it was so weird. So when I see myself for the first time, I'm actually, my hair is really short. My hair was shorter than my husband at the time, right? And so, but you know, I remember the hair falling out in the shower and just going, "Oh my God." And I said, in 40 years, I've never had my hair damaged or lose it. I can stop now or I can keep going. And I didn't let the hair phase me. I just went to someone who glued in some hair extensions. And because I had 2 weeks later, I had my first set of headshots. And so, you know, you just have to keep going because you're going to get some kind of obstacle. That was mine at the time. And then after I booked the Army Wives, it just took off. I can't remember off the top of my head what my next booking was, but I got to work on some amazing projects. Being Mary Jane, which
Yes. Oof.
was a beautiful project. And I got to be dressed by the fabulous Oscar-winning Ruthie Carter.
Carter, yes. Oof.
Yes.
I'm talking about a diva. Every stylist loves her because she captures and embodies the character in a way that only she can. I mean, because wardrobe is essential to understanding that character. Why does she wear this? Why does she wear that? And it just, yeah.
I was like, whoa, okay. And then, I got to do Greenleaf, Queen Sugar, 12 Years a Slave was another one of those. I got to work with Elizabeth Moss from Handmaid's Tale on a movie called Free World. And it was Octavia Spencer was in that movie as well. And so I have been fortunate to be on great projects, Oscar-winning projects, and hopefully I'll be on an Emmy award-winning project with this latest one, Women of the Movement.
Let me tell you, this thing. Sweetie, it was like, talk about taking breath. Now, you know, we were talking before about how much I loved you on Greenleaf as Mac's girlfriend. I was like, okay, yeah, I wanted to write you and say, do you know that he's weird? You know, but it was, and kudos to him. I can't remember the actor's name right now, but amazing. Because see, for me, Keith David was my favorite because he reminded me so much of my dad. And
Yes.
I love Keith David, but Mac, as a survivor of sexual abuse, I could not stand. Sometimes I had to turn away. That's how good he was.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and I wrote him one day and I said, I hate you that much. Great job.
Yes.
You know, but it was amazing. But I loved you on that. But you, this thing on the women of the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was,
Mm.
you know, it was so surreal on so many things, on so many levels, because for one, the story we're getting ready to tell.
Yeah.
And then the talent that has been assembled
Yes.
to tell this story. It was powerful. It was precious to me. My character, or the woman I portrayed, her name is Elizabeth Lizzie Wright. She will be with me forever and ever and ever. So will her family. You know, we had a lot of difficult times on set, and you know, and outside of set, because we're in COVID, we're in Greenwood, Mississippi. We are sequestered. We are in a bubble. Like, they had 3 hotels that are just booked out, housing us. And so we're not allowed to go anywhere, because you got to test every other day. You got to test before you come. So when we're in that hotel, that is our home. And so, you know, we got to be in each other's space a lot. So we became a family, going through, telling this family story.
So for those who haven't seen this, let's talk about Lizzie Wright for a second. Tell us about her and how important and crucial she was and pivotal is the word that comes to mind.
Yeah, Lizzie was Emmett Till's great aunt. So Mamie is Emmett's mother. Alma is Mamie's mother. Alma and Lizzie are sisters. So the summer of 1955, Emmett traveled from Chicago to Mississippi to spend the summer with his cousins and aunt and uncle, Mose Wright and Lizzie Wright. And after an incident at a local store, he is kidnapped from their home in the middle of the night, tortured, beaten, murdered, and then thrown into the Tallahatchie River. And the way Mamie fought for justice for her son is what truly started the civil rights movement. So she is the mother of the civil rights movement.
I tell you, there were moments I had to stop watching.
Yeah.
Because y'all took my breath. Y'all took my breath. And I knew about Emmett Till. But this, sweetie,
it's still hard, because like sometimes if I'll play back the scene I was doing. Masonite has a diversity team on in their corporation, and they asked me to do a debriefing of each episode. So they would task their membership with watching episodes 1 and 2, and then we'll do a debriefing, and we would talk about the episode, and they would play some of the clips, and I would just I'm back in that moment of thinking about Emmett and thinking about this beautiful woman. Everyone talked about how nurturing she was, how she loved her kids, how she loved her grandkids and her nephews, and she was powerless to help him.
Yes.
She offered to pay for them. She begged them. She never went back in her home. She left her home that night, and never went back in her home. Nope.
Wow. You know what? I knew this wasn't going to be we'll be back right after this, y'all. Stay with us. Come back just come back. We'll see you in a minute.
Hi, I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. A place for you to come and share thoughts and spirit through a cup of coffee. Come and enjoy with us here at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. I have to tell you, the last segment took, if y'all had been, we haven't, we rolled tape, but if you saw behind the scenes, and I said, you have got to tell this on camera. So we were talking about your portrayal of Lizzie Wright in the Women of the Movement. And you were saying that you began to do these Zoom calls where you would watch it and that the family came on. Let's pick up there.
Okay. During the showing of the ABC series, I had a viewing party, and one episode, members of Emmett Till's family came in and watched the viewing party with us. And they enjoyed it, and they shared more stories about Lizzie. They shared stories, especially about Emmett. And after the entire season was over, I got an Instagram message that thanked me for portraying their aunt so beautifully. And it was just really, really affirming. And that, thank you. And at the Hollywood premiere, Reverend Wheeler Parker, who is the last survivor of the night that Emmett was kidnapped from Lizzie's home, spoke about our portrayal of the entire season, and he said that we got it right, and that was very meaningful to all of us as a production, as a crew, as the cast, that they thought we got it right.
And you did. You really did. I mean, I used to have to take breaks because it was so overwhelming to think of then and now and realize ain't a whole lot changed.
I know,
You know?
I know.
Oh,
And that's why I think it's so powerful for us to encourage people to watch it, whether they already know about Emmett's story or don't know about the story, because I thought I knew about Emmett's story, but to learn more, that was the beautiful part of just learning more and more about all the families that his murder touched, you know, even the murderers' families. And and then to have these beautiful souls that came in, and it was like you could feel from the crew to the people who were testing us to the actors, every frame was created with respect and love. And that just made this experience.
Academy, give them the Emmy, and let's give Emmett the Emmy.
Yes.
Hashtag give Emmett the Emmy. Yes.
And now we have the anti-lynching law that's passed.
Wow.
That took over 200 tries to get this law passed, and it passed the year that, you know, is it a coincidence? I don't know, but if it helped, I hope it helped.
I think it helped. I think it made some people pay attention.
Yes.
Okay, because we right here. So I asked you earlier because we talked a little bit about Greenleaf, and so you get this call. What's the first thing you think when they say you're gonna be on Greenleaf? Did you think I'm gonna get to meet Oprah?
Oh, I'm going to meet Oprah. Yes, and then Oprah's in New Zealand doing Wrinkle in Time. So
look, what she calls you says, I have this project, and only you can do this project. I believe
I'm there.
Look, can I just have a walk on part? Look, somebody to play.
Yeah. And you know, because of the storyline with Mac, Mac in the story and even in production, just as a symbiotic type of coincidence, I think, you know, he was isolated. You know, a lot of time when his scenes were going on, there was really nobody else there, especially doing this.
Somebody with a snap. Thank you. Because he played oh my God.
I know.
That part. What's the actor's name?
Which one?
What's the actor that played Mac? What was his name?
Greg.
Greg. Kudos. I hated you every day. From,
He-
from when you came on the screen the first time, I knew until Grace finally took him out. That's the one character that, I mean, and so that speaks to him as an actor.
Yeah.
And what I feel that show never got its justice.
And that storyline, and this character of, I was walking into, I went to somewhere in Brandon for lunch with a friend of mine, and we're sitting at the bar talking and everything, and this lady kept looking at us. And so I thought my friend knew that she knew my friend, and my friend thought she knew me. And then she finally comes over and she goes, and she's just staring at me. She says, "Are you Lorraine?" And I went, "Who?" I went, "Oh,
Yeah, that's me, girl.
yes, I am." It was her. And I was just like, and my girlfriend started laughing at me because I generally don't wear makeup, got my hair in a ponytail. And she said, "You gonna start wearing that makeup yet?" And I'm like, "No," but it was funny that she recognized Lorraine. And she says, "What are you doing in Florida?" I said, "I live in Florida." And she was like, "Really?" And then I was in California, and this woman I met at the mall, and this lady literally came up and grabbed me by the arm. She says, "Child, I was just watching you on my treadmill when I was on the treadmill." And then we went to the farmer's market, and you know who was in the farmer's market? And I said, "Who?" She said, "Your boyfriend, Mac." I said, "Mac's here?" I said, you know how strange this is?" I said, "Neither one of us live here. So if Mac is at the farmer market and I'm in the mall, that's just, he's in Georgia, I'm in Florida." She was like, "What?" And she was so funny. She's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, we're both in town. That's hilarious." But yeah,
Wow, but that
she spotted both of us. That was so funny.
that is too funny. That really is. That was serendipity at its best. But okay, so let me see. We'll be back right after this. Y'all stay with us. Okay. Well, we're almost out of time, and I want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Going Places. As always, we want to remind you that you can watch encore episodes of Going Places every Saturday and Sunday morning right here on Tampa Bay's MOR, and you can also catch us on YouTube and streaming worldwide. For everyone here at Going Places, we want to thank you for joining us. Be blessed on the journey. We'll see you next time. Okay, that's it.